Okay, in this video I'm going to demonstrate an issue with the MayaStar BVH exporter 1.6. Now this is basically only for 1.6. 1.5 is the other exporter, which can export out translations on the M pelvis and rotations on the M pelvis, and all the other bones it can only export out rotations only. Okay, so this video is sort of a workaround for an issue with the exporter 1.6, which can export out rotation and translation animations on all the bones. Okay, the problem that we're having is that the BVH exporter 1.6, when you export out an animation on a bone, even if it's just the animation is just rotation only, it exports it out as a 6-channel animation instead of exporting it out as a 3-channel animation. Now there's a workaround which you can edit the BVH file manually in a word processor. I like WordPad++. Not WordPad++, Notepad++. I like Notepad++. For a lot of reasons, and it's free, and I recommend it to anybody. But you could do it in Notepad, but Notepad++ is better, and it's free. Anyway, so I'm going to demonstrate the problem of it when a bone that has rotation only animation on it that you created in Maya, when it has being exported out as a 6-channel. 6-channel, for those who don't know, 6-channel means that it's exporting out the X, Y, and Z of the translation, but also the X, Y, Z of the rotation. And a 3-channel would be just one of 3. It could either be the rotation or the translation. But Second Life, all bones have to have X, Y, Z rotation on them. Even if they don't rotate, it has to be in the BVH exporter. I mean, in the BVH file. So, but a rotation only, a bone that only has rotation animations on it, can be exported out as a 3-channel with X, Y, and Z rotation values. Okay, so what's happening? I'll play the animation. Okay, with this animation, it's the single animation. The left eye, the animation is rotating only. The right eye is animating through translation only, no rotations. Okay, now it looks okay here, what you expect, but the problem is, watch when I change the depth. Notice how the eye on the left side is staying in one spot. It's not moving with the bone. See, the slider is making the bone move in and out, or it's supposed to. Okay, so there's translations that are being applied by the slider here through the Avatar Lab XML code, but the animation is overriding it, because the animation for the left eye, even though in Maya we only rotated it, has those 3 extra channels for translation, but the translation is just the bone is staying in one spot. You know, it's like a pose, you know, where the bones don't move, they stay in one spot, and that's a problem. That's a problem, especially for people who are trying to make facial animations. They don't, you know, most people making facial animations, they're going to try to do, my advice is to do the animations with rotations only, if at all possible. If you have to do a translation animation to make a facial animation look decent, and you have to use rotation and translation, or just translation, you're going to be overriding, the animation is going to override any shape setting that the resident happens to have with their shape. It will override it while the animation is playing. So my advice, try to do just rotation only animations on facial animations. But I know a lot of people just don't like that. They just feel they need to have some translation animations in there, even if it's just a little bit. Okay, so what is the workaround? Like I said, how do we manually edit the BVH file? So here we go. I'm going to go to the BVH file. Okay, so here's the left eye. You know, there's the hip, the root. The hip, that is not M hip. That's not the M hip bone. That's actually either the M pelvis bone, or it would be, if you're using a control, it would be the control thing on the ground that you select to move the avatar in 3 different spaces. Anyway, that's the hip bone. That's usually the M pelvis bone. And as you can see, it goes through it. But that's not the M hip bone. M hip left or M hip right. It's not those bones. Okay, so then you have the torso, the chest, the neck, the head, even though this animation only has those. I guess you have to have those from the root, being the M pelvis bone. Got to go through these till you get to the bones that you need. Okay, so here's the left eye, and you can see it's 6 channels. So what we want to do is we want to change this to 3 channels, and we want to get rid of this X, Y, and Z position. Okay, so now it's 3 channels, Z, X, and Y rotation. Okay, now here's the offset. So this is the bone position. Okay, so what we're going to want to do is you're going to want to replace those. Now, if you just copy this and paste it here, these are actually tabs. So you have to come in here and make sure that they're just a space in between. See, that's a tab. Oh, how did that white get in there? Okay, because that's what we're going to do next. We're going to say find next. Okay, so here's the actual, oh, and we're going to go down direction. Okay, and we're going to do it in selection. Oh, replace. Why isn't, Okay, normally you can have selection only. Maybe because we don't have a selection. No, I guess not. Okay. Don't you just love things that don't quite work out the way they're supposed to? Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm going to come in here, and then we're going to replace those first. See this? These are the numbers. This happens to be the translation for frame for that bone. Each line here is a frame. Okay, there's 48 frames in this animation. Each line here is a frame, and these are each of the bones. Okay, and so there's the left bone, and so this column right here, notice it doesn't change. That's making the eye bone, the left eye bone, move to that spot and stay there and not move. So we need to get rid of this column. Now in Notepad++, you could hold down the Shift and the Alt key and select the column and delete it that way. Or you can come in here and select the entire animation and replace. See, we have these numbers, and we're going to replace it with nothing and say replace all. And you know you did it right if it says 48. See, I had in selection. That means the highlight that I had selected. It's going to do that. 48 occurrences were replaced, meaning there's 48 frames, and that's what was replaced. Okay, so we save it, and then we come back here, and this is the same file. I'm going to reload the file, and now when I play the animation, okay, so the eye stays in one spot, but even if we change the eye depth, the eye moves with the slider now, because the animation no longer contains the translate channels for that particular bone. Now we still have the same problem with this one that has the translation on it. We still have that same problem. Okay, so don't be tempted into coming up here and changing and doing this. Changing that to 3 channels, and then changing, getting rid of this rotation. Because even if we came in here and we did the same thing of getting rid of the tab, find next. See, here's the translation for the right eye. You see that the numbers are changing as we go frame to frame. So that's the animation. And you notice that there's 0. These zeros after it. Those are, let's see, there it is. Okay. Those were the that Z, X, and Y rotation. See, it shows you first the X, Y, and Z positions, then it does the ZXY rotations. So those would be these numbers here. Now we could try to say, okay, let's see, let's replace those with just that, and let's do in selection again. So we know we're just affecting the animation. And go replace all. Whoops. That was only one. Oh, the reason that occurred, wait, just replaced one. I forgot. See, these numbers are changing. So this is where you have to do it. We have to do it using this, where we're going to delete a column. And we've got to make sure that we leave just one space. Okay, so we make sure that we leave just one space. Yeah, that's just one space. These are just one space. Okay. And now if we try to upload or reload, we get an error. Cannot get rotation order. See, so you can't get rid of the rotations. So maybe Linden Lab can change that, but that would, they would have to put man hours aside to update it to where you don't need those. So in the meantime, if you undo this. Okay, so don't be tempted. The only one you can change to a 3-channel is bones that have rotation only. Bones that have rotation only, you can reload it. Like this eye bone, you can do that.
April 1st, 2017.
And I swear it is not April Fool's. It is April Fool's, but this isn't an April Fool's joke video. So anyway, so that is at least somewhat of a workaround. Now once we get, like I said, a dot and mixed border for Maya, probably a lot of these issues we won't have anymore. We may still have the same. I'm sure you'll still have the same issues with any translation animation overriding the bone and not responding to the sliders. We'll still have that issue. So that's unfortunately a limitation of Bento. And the animation in general in Second Life. I don't believe they can make it additive. So anyway, that's it for the video. I hope for those of you trying to make facial animations for the bentos or for bento skeletons, I hope that helps you. And we'll see you in the next video.